Hello, welcome to a short tutorial on whole field seed planning in Contour. In this video we're going to take a look at building a multi-crop seed plan. This includes splitting out multiple varieties, tweaking plans, so making small edits to different rates in the field, bulk adjusting, so bulk adjusting a plan total to the quantity that you require, and finally we're going to take a quick look at job sheets. To access the whole field seed planning tool, go to Planning, and then to Seed Plans, which is the image of the little plant with the two leaves. Once you land on the seed planning homepage, you can see you can then create a new plan, and we're looking at whole field seed plan in this tutorial, so whole field seed plan. Once you click Create Plan, this takes you to the plan setup page. So to start with, the plan needs a name. Once you've given the plan a name, you then need to select the crop types you wish to plan for. The first option is to select all, so you can simply click crop name. That will select all crop types. You can select a particular crop type, so if you just want to plan for your spring barley, for example, you can just tick spring barley. To break it down even further, you can then select by variety or by field. So if you want to select a certain variety, you can do that, or a certain field. The final option is to simply click on the map, so you can just click your spring barley fields or whichever field you wish to plan. For this example, I'm just going to select all. Once you've selected the field you wish to plan for, you can see here you've got a summary of what you've selected, so you can see how many different varieties you're planning for, the number of fields, and the total hectareage. Once you're happy with this, click Next. This will then take you through to the rule building page. So here you can see we need to add rules. So if you add rules, you can then start to break down the different crop types. We'll pick the unit type you wish to plan by, so either seeds a metre squared, kilograms a hectare, or seeds a hectare. For this example, I'm going to use seeds a metre squared. The next step is to assign a base rate. So here you can see we've got our crop types that we selected again. We've then got our base rate. So for our winter barley, tap in the base rate that you wish to use, followed by the 1,000 grain weight. If you have varietal differences between the crop types, either by a different base rate or a different 1,000 grain weight, you can add this as a different line. So here you can see you've got Add New. This will then load selectors, so you can select variety. So if you know that your Concerto, for example, has got a different 1,000 grain weight to your Sussy, you can select that. If different batches of seed are different, you can select the certain fields that may have been drilled or going to be drilled with a different batch of seed, and then assign a different base rate, or if it may be the same base rate with a different 1,000 grain weight. So here I'm going to use the same base rate with a different 1,000 grain weight. And you can add in as many of these lines as you wish. So you can just keep adding and adding until you've got your different scenarios loaded for this plan. Then down to the OSR, we can do the same again. So again, our base rate, followed by 1,000 grain weight. I'm not going to choose any varietal differences for this one, so I'm going to leave that as is. And then for the winter wheats, again, base rate, 1,000 grain weight. And then if you have any differences between fields or varieties, we can do that. So we can say for our Skyfall, but only for next to home. That's going to have a slightly later drill, so we're going to increase the base rate. And it's got a slightly different 1,000 grain weight. Once you're happy with your base rates, we can then look at sort of fine-tuning this plan. So if you wish to, you can add in your observations. Observations are polygons that have been drawn in maps analysis to depict areas of black grass. It may be areas that are typically waterlogged, are prone to pest damage. So we can go into maps analysis and add those in. There are other tutorials that show you how to do, but for this example, I'm just going to use some pre-existing observations. So add new. I'm going to use this weed observation for Woodfield. So I simply tick it, add to rules, and then it loads in our observation menu. So here we can see that we've got a black grass polygon, and what we want to do here is increase. You can decrease, but obviously we're trying to suppress the weed, so increase the base rate value by 30%. So as you can see, As you're working on that polygon, it turns white, but when you're not working on it, it turns that blue colour. You can add more in, so if you wanted to add another one for home field, and then we've got another one here for next to home, so we can add them in. Again, add to rules. It tells us what that is, so that's a barren sterile area or sterile brome area. Again, increase by 30%, and then we've got a yield one as well, so again, you can increase by maybe 25%. And again, it's going to increase the base rate, so whatever you've assigned here, that'll increase that by 30% or 25% in the yield case. If there's areas that are not depicted by observations, you can add your freehand polygons. So you can see at the top here we've got a polygon drawing tool. Once we click that, it changes our cursor, and we can then click on the map and freehand draw polygons in. So if we scroll down here, look, we can see we've got another exception. So except if polygon, then increase or decrease by, again, 25%. Or maybe this corner here has come out of production and you want to discard it from the plan, we can simply click around. You'll notice that it's quite a neat part of the polygon drawing tool as it auto snaps the boundaries. There's no need to sort of gently click around the boundary. You can just freehand round and that'll make it nice and neat around the boundary. So just going back to this polygon we've just drawn, you can see it comes to the top of the list, and we want to decrease this one by 100%, which will take our base rate back to 0. Once you're happy, we can then save the rules. Once you save the rules, that brings us to a summary. So it just repeats basically what we've already done. So we can see our spring barley, we've got our base rate, but concerto, slightly different 1,000 grain weight. We've got our raw seed rate, all doing the same. And then with the winter wheat, we've got our base rate, 1,000 grain weight. Apart from Skyfall next to home, where we're doing something slightly different. It then summarises our observations and polygons. Once we're happy with this summary, we can then go to next, and this pulls us through to a fine-tuning page. As you can see, we've got our spring barley, concerto and sassy, winter raw seed rape, no variety, and then Crusoe and Skyfall. Then what we can do here is we can drop down the menus, so we can see for Crusoe, we can see the totals per field. We can also edit the rates on the map. So if you've got the edit rate button here, if you click that, that then makes this map live. And then if you decide that actually Middle Wood, I want to do at 325 for example, that will then change the rate for that field. The same with the polygons, if you want to change that to 70 for example, you can then tap in there and that will change that rate. Once you've made your changes, you must remember to save changes. Without doing that, it won't allow you to do anything else in the page. So save changes, you can see that's gone back to edit rate, it's saved our amendments, it's also updated our totals, and then the final piece is to bulk adjust. So if you know you've got a certain quantity of seed, so for example with your concerto, you've actually bought 4.5 tons, you can go in here and change that new total, save changes, that then updates our rate here, and then changes the rate on the map as well. If you just want to increase by a certain percentage, in case for overlaps or what have you, you can go into here and just do a percentage change, so plus 5%, save changes, and that gives us our new total. If you wish to go back and undo your bulk adjusts, you simply click this reverse arrow here. You'll also need to do this if you wish to go back and edit any of your rules. So if we go back to our summary page, you can see edit rules is greyed out. And that's because we've got our bulk adjust in place. So if we undo the bulk adjust, confirm that we want to undo the bulk adjust, we can then go back and edit rules. That makes this page live again. So if I save rules, there's nothing I want to do here, then go to next. And that will mean that we have to go back in and redo our bulk adjusts. 4.5 ton there, save changes. And we want to increase this one by 5%. Again, save changes. Once you're all done and dusted, you're happy with everything, save plan. This then brings you to your seed planning homepage. So as you can see at the top of the list here, we've got our plan that we've just created. It tells us the date and time it was created, along with the crops planned by, and the number of fields within that plan and the hectares planned. What you can do at this point is you can either go back and edit. So if you click edit, that'll bring you to the beginning of the process, so you can add and remove fields and then go through to your rules and bulk adjust and go from there. And then if we just exit that piece, then go to three dots again, we can produce downloads. So go to downloads, we can then go into reports and then download report. So once you download the report, you can enter the report and that will show you various details, starting off with your crop type, so the crop types you've planted, the rate units you've used, and the first table down is your total product. So the total product table breaks down per variety, so you can see the average season metre squared, the total area of that variety, along with the total product that you require of that variety. So this is a nice easy look-see order sheet, so you can easily see I need a total of 4.5 tonnes of Concerto, 2.84 tonnes of Sassy, and so on. The next tables are field breakdowns, so again we've got it per variety and then by field. So there's only one field for the Concerto, as for the Sassy, as for the Aussie Rape. But for the winter wheat, you can see we've got a breakdown of 5 fields. So again, little field, average season metre squared of 349. We've got our field area, total product required for that field, and then the 1,000 grain weight used. And then the final page is a map showing where the rates are. So you can see here, we've got our dark observation that we used, and then the season metre squared for that polygon. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short tutorial. If you have any further questions, please contact your local crop input specialist.